What's going on, everybody? Jacob here, JK Productions. As you see, I'm here back in my room. Just got back from New York yesterday after my coverage of the NCAA tournament up in New York City, where I got to cover the Elite 8 and the Sweet 16. I just want to say, if you guys were part of any of those streams, anybody who dropped by, just names off the top of my head. I know Donovan was there. I know Andrew was there. Octopus in that chat. Christine from the first chat. Got anybody who was in there interacting the entire time. Biggest of thank yous, because that was genuinely one of the greatest experiences of my life, and that's what I'm going to talk about here today. Just what that was like, what that all entailed, and just that was one of the greatest moments of my life, greatest weekends of my life, without a doubt. So we got there in New York City. The game was on Thursday. We didn't get to New York City. The game's at 9 o'clock. We didn't get there till 6, like 5:36. So we got to the hotel, got changed, got some food, and we got to the stadium about halfway into the second half of the first game, which was Kansas State and Michigan State. And walking into that walking onto the floor of Madison Square Garden, on the floor, we're right there. The atmosphere, it was so drowning to feel what everything there was like. It was beautiful, and we were watching a great game at the end and for that game. And then that game ends, and go to get set up. Had a hard time finding my seat initially, and I've told the story already to multiple people. Was walking to try and find my seat, and the way it was set up, it was one long row. The first row on the court, it was one long row, all of media, and in the middle it was two smaller rows of media. So 3 rows of media, and on each side at the end of those media tables there was fan seating. So on the end, there was the row of media in the first row, and then there was the first row of fan seating. And so I look up, and I'm trying to walk. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. I'm looking down. I'm looking at people. There's wires, there's people's feet. I'm trying to get through, and I look up, and I'm really literally right next to Adrian Wojnarowski. Everybody knows Woj, top NBA reporter. And I just had a fanboy moment. I'm like, Woj? He's like, yeah. Hey, what's up? I'm like, hi, good to meet you. Basically, that was the extent of the interaction. It was just hi, cool, and keep walking, right? I go to take my next step to continue walking past him, and it was a little elevated. It was probably about this much elevated from the first to the top, the next step up where the fans were at. I step down, I clip that little edge, and I go to stumble, and I nearly fell right on top of Adrian Wojnarowski. So that's just the start of my experience. I haven't commentated a second yet. I haven't done anything. Nothing has started. I'm trying to find my seat, and I'm nearly tackling Adrian Wojnarowski, the top NBA reporter. It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. Finally find my seat, which actually wasn't my seat. I then move on, go somewhere else, and get to commentate the first game, which that FAU Tennessee game. I'm struggling to find words for how amazing that experience was. If you were part of the stream, you know how excited I was. Those listening right now, you can hear my voice. We lost my voice, sounded like Ed Ogeron by the end of that Tennessee game. Slight recovery day. That was Thursday. Friday, we just walked around a little bit. Saturday, had the game later on in the day, like 6 o'clock. So I had about a day and 18 hours in between games, and my voice still hadn't fully recovered by Saturday. And then I did a whole other game on Saturday. So here I am. My voice right now is a solid 65-70%. It sounds mostly right. If I didn't mention it, you might not even have noticed it. But it definitely feels different. I can feel it when I'm talking. Like, if I talk more than 10 minutes at a time, so we'll see how long this goes for. If I talk for more than 10 minutes at a time, it gets rough. The view you're seeing right now on the screen, that was my view. This is my view for the second game, where I was literally dead on with center court of Madison Square Garden. Center court. The first game was a little bit more to the left. There was got to sit next to this dude who was actually there for the Michigan State game. Michigan State lost to Kansas State. Kansas State then lost to FAU in the next game, but he was part of the Michigan State. And super cool dude. Super cool dude. His name was Matt. He was with Michigan State. And again, I was yelling and screaming basically the entire second half. I've done so many games for FAU. I've done football games. I've done basketball games. I've done baseball games. And I involve my personality, but I keep it professional. Like, I try to incorporate bits and pieces of the other team. Like, who's paying my paycheck. You know who I'm with. But I'm having fun. I'm there to commentate for FAU. They're paying me. So I can be a little less formal. I can be a little less, to the book than most people there covering are. But I'm in New York City. I'm at Madison Square Garden. I'm at the March Madness. I'm at the Elite Eight. I'm at the Sweet 16. And I was mostly professional for the first half of the first game. And then we were down by, I think we were down by 5 or so. And we went on a run. And then we're up 7. And I just let it go. I'm yelling. I'm shouting. I'm probably above where my headphones could even handle. So who knows if you guys even heard me. I did that for basically the remainder of the game. There is reporters in front of me. Again, I'm in the third row of the broadcast. I'm third row. You may have, there's a possibility you may have been able to hear me on the TBS or CBS broadcast. I think they're actually both TBS. There's a chance you maybe heard me on the TBS broadcast. I am shouting. My voice is cracking because my voice is still gone. I am shouting. People in front of me. Not this guy here on the screen because this was the second day, but there was people right there, left, right, center, everywhere up in there. They just kept turning around like, what is this idiot doing? Why is he screaming? I was having a great time. I never in a million years could expect this. I made that YouTube video, a week and a half ago, basically running through FAU's run to the final. It started off with Memphis. Thrilling game-winning layup by Nick Boyd. I thought it would then lead to Purdue. Fairleigh Dickinson made that job a little easier for us to take down Fairleigh Dickinson. The world hates us because, A, we beat the 16 seed and Elijah Martin's dunk attempt at the end. I got Tennessee right. I explained what we had to do to beat Tennessee. We did it. And then I was expecting to play, or I just kind of, was it? Oh, wait, no, actually, no, I lied. Was I? Yeah, no, I said we were going to play Duke. I thought Duke was going to play Tennessee, so I actually got that game wrong. I thought we were going to play Duke. I explained how we beat Duke. I explained how we were then going to beat Marquette. I didn't expect us to play Tennessee, then Kansas State, and then I expected us to play Alabama in the next round. We're playing San Diego State. There's a solid chance that FAU is going to make the final. This is nuts. This is still nuts. Still nuts to me. I'm speechless. I'm so thankful for this opportunity that I've gotten. So glad to experience it with these people here. MJ, Luke, Lucas, Liz, Pete, Cam. I think I mentioned everybody. Luke, Lucas, MJ, Pete, Cam, Liz. I think that was Allison. Everybody who was there. That was one of the best weekends of my life. Seeing FAU make the Final Four. See FAU win a NCAA tournament game, something they had never done ever. And I got to witness it firsthand, broadcast it live in Madison Square Garden. Go back a few pictures ago, or maybe, yeah, this picture here. I'm sitting center court. I'm sitting on the center court line, I think, of Madison Square Garden, watching FAU cut down the nets right in front of me. I'm sitting on the floor of Madison Square Garden. On the floor. That confetti? We came home with some souvenirs. So here's some confetti. We started stealing stuff basically off the walls at the stadium. Not stealing. So yeah, I know I'm vertical, so this is gonna make this difficult. I'm trying not to smack stuff on my wall. March Madness. Took that off the wall. Locker room sign. Don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Locker room sign. I have like 3 locker room signs. I have a team entrance sign with a big sticker on the back. I have a massive poster. It's like a rolled up metal poster that says March Madness. It is probably 4.5 feet tall, lined, and it's in this metal casing, so it was definitely hung up on something. After the second game, they're ripping all this stuff off the walls. At first, we're eyeing it like, can we take that? And then, yeah, this dude was like, yeah, we're throwing it out. So what you want, take it. So me, Luke, Liz, MJ, we just start grabbing stuff. Luke has 2 of the metal things, 3 massive posters. Like this I can fit. I fit that in my backpack. I fit that in my luggage. Luke's carrying like massive posters, and we walk into the airport. And me, Luke, and Lucas took the same Uber to the airport, and we get out of the Uber. And we just look at each other like, oh my gosh, we look like absolute buffoons right now. We're about to walk through Newark Airport carrying all this crap. I got like the smaller ones that fit in my bag. I'm carrying the medal. I'm carrying the March Madness one. And he's carrying none of his fit in his bag. So he has the long March Madness one. The March Madness banner that I have, I'm not going to pull it out. It's this logo, but just really big. So I have that in the metal case. I'm surprised they let us get on the plane with that, because I can see that being considered a weapon. I got to speak to quite a few of the players. Alejandro Orlot came up to me and we were talking as if like we were best friends. Brandon Weatherspoon, Janelle Davis, all spoke with them after the game. Here, y'all need to see my new phone screen, my phone lock screen, if it would cooperate. Come on. This is beautiful. Vlad Golden holding up 4 fingers. Can't really see it that well on the screen. Got to talk to Michael Forrest, and so Michael Forrest and I were actually middle school teammates, Sawgrass Springs Middle School, and we were really good friends back then. And you go your separate ways. He went to a different high school and played basketball, and clearly had a lot of success doing so. So just haven't talked in years really, and we've had like a couple brief interactions. Me doing my work with the team, but I wasn't actually sure if he remembered me. So after the game, there's been a few moments where I'm like, do I just go up and ask? Because I was just curious, just genuinely curious. Does this man remember me? So after the game, we're on the floor. He just got done doing like 2 or 3 interviews. He probably hears like, hey Mike. He probably thinks he's got another interview coming. And I dap him up. I'm like, bro, do you remember me? And he's like, yeah, we were middle school together. I'm like, yes. I'm so glad he remembers. And it's so incredible to think where we came from. We went from middle school teammates. We literally had a fight in middle school. We were best friends, so it wasn't a big deal. We literally fought in the middle school cafeteria, and now we're here together doing this. Like, obviously it's not like that sentimental, because we're not friends right now. It's just cool to think about. We were middle school teammates, and he just made it to the Final Four. I just commentated him doing that. And it was seriously arguably the greatest weekend of my life. Newark City, got to walk around the city a lot. It was cold, it was freezing. Beanie came in clutch. Beanie came in very clutch. It rained a bit, which kind of sucked. But otherwise, we were in Newark City. We were in Madison Square Garden. We were in Madison Square Garden. I cannot explain that first feeling. We walked through security, gate A, I think it is. My voice is struggling. I need some water. Walking through security, and we get into the main area underneath the stadium, and then you start to hear everything. You start to hear the crowd. And we walk in, and then we walk through that little tunnel, and then just Madison Square Garden. I was there last week. I was there the week before for a birthday present for my dad. My dad gave my brother and I, middle of our birthdays. My birthday's in February. My brother's birthday's in April. My dad's is in March. So we all went to New York, because that's our go-to vacation spot. We went to New York, and we got to see the Knicks and Nuggets play Madison Square Garden, and that was surreal. I never thought in that moment I'd be back on the floor broadcasting game on my YouTube channel and on the school radio. Never thought that in a million years that would have been a possibility. And here I am. I walk out, and it's Kansas State, Michigan State. There was probably 5 or 6 moments where I nearly started to cry. I did not shed a tear. I did not cry. I'm not against crying. I'm not against men crying. I think it's a perfectly natural thing for men to show emotion, and I'm comfortable with crying. I didn't though. But there were 5 or 6 moments where I was just overwhelmed by emotion in the situation. And one of them was just walking out there that initial time, walking out and then just looking up. I just did a little circle, just looking around and realizing the gravity of the situation that is, at hand. Watched a great Kansas State Michigan State game. Watch FAU upset Tennessee to move on to the Elite Eight. And then on Saturday, watch FAU upset Kansas State. Marquise Noel is a baller. 30 points, 13 assists. Dude's an absolute bucket, but we won. And now FAU, I'm probably going to the Final Four. There is I'd say 90% chance I'm going to the Final Four. I'm going to be in NRG Stadium, live, doing the same thing I did last week, broadcasting FAU playing in the Final Four. I nearly cried at the end of the Tennessee game. I nearly cried at the end of the Kansas State game, especially the Kansas State game. Kansas State game, after the stream, if you were watching the stream, I just leaned forward and just put my head into my hands. And it's coming back. It's coming back. Like, wow, how crazy that was. I didn't end the stream immediately. If you guys were with me, showed you guys around the stadium, went and found people. Like Luke and MJ. MJ was over my shoulder the entire game because he didn't have a seat. He didn't. Like I said in the broadcast, there was like 7 of us. Make sure I got everybody. Me, Luke, Lucas, MJ, Liz, Pete, Cam. Okay, yeah, I do have everybody. We only had 2 seats, and I'm commentating, so obviously I get one, and Luke's the station manager, so he got the other. He kind of sort of commentated. If you were listening on FAU already, he kind of sort of commentated. So yeah, we didn't have seats, or didn't have enough seats. So Lucas, Liz, and I think Cam, it might have been Pete, it might have been both of them. They went around to like 4 or 5 different spots around the stadium. Liz was initially sitting next to me. She moved afterwards. Then the 3 of them went and sat in the fans section, where obviously they're not allowed to be. They sat there for brief. They got kicked out of there. They went into the 100 section, got kicked out of there because somebody came to their seat. One of the photographers or videographers for FAU brought them up to a suite. They were in there for a little bit, got kicked out of there. Sat in they were just everywhere throughout the stadium. They got kicked out everywhere. So they eventually just watched the game below in the media area. And I've been talking now for 17-ish minutes. I can't explain how beautiful a moment that was. I like to thank FAU. I like to think, oh man, I forget his name. I don't really know him, but the professor, the doctor, I forget his name, but whoever that was, I'd really like to thank just for that opportunity to go to New York and commentate the game, be there, watch FAU, watch history, and not done. Hopefully going to Houston, NRG Stadium, and watch FAU compete in the Final Four. That's gonna be Saturday, 6 o'clock. So make sure, please, hey, even if you're just a fan of me or you stumble across this video, please root for FAU. Please root for the Owls because it's history. This doesn't happen. This isn't supposed to happen to us. It's cringe, it's cliche, like, oh, we aren't supposed to be here. No, we're literally not supposed to be here. We never won a tournament game before this week, for last Friday. Never happened. And here we are now in the Final Four. Got some of the best experiences of my life, watching them, commentating them, celebrating afterwards. It was a dream. I got to talk to Coach a little bit. Coach is such a cool guy. The only thing that would have changed is the weather. It was raining on Saturday. I would have changed that. Otherwise, it'd been great to have my girlfriend Haley there. Otherwise, everything was about as perfect as it could have been. So grateful for the opportunity, and so grateful for the opportunity to continue. So, hey, by chance watching it, you gonna be there in Houston? Let me know. I really appreciate y'all being here with me. I really appreciate all y'all that have watched me for years. Rayon, Gavin, I know you were at the game. Kevin, Kadeem, all of y'all that texted me, all my family that texted me immediately afterwards and watched the game too. Like my mom was texting me, Stu was texting me, my cousin Jason. All of y'all that were texting me throughout the game afterwards, my grandparents, everybody that slipped my mind. Everybody, if you're watching this far in the video, thank y'all for supporting me in this journey and being there, watching the game with me, watching me basically, because apparently I was like 2 minutes ahead, so that was kind of crazy. But I think, again, just thank you to everybody. Thank you for everybody supporting me on this channel and everything, because these are experiences that I've never thought I get to do and share with some people that I'm very close with. So I appreciate all y'all. Appreciate y'all stick around and continue to watch me, continue to support me. So all of y'all who may be new to me, make sure y'all like and subscribe down there, join, and continue to watch this journey, because FAU is not done. I'll be making more FAU content throughout the week, and I'm just very appreciative of everything that all of y'all been here with me for. So thank y'all very much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody.